everyone, welcome back to my channel. I did have several requests to show how I do a monthly budget. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm going to talk you through kind of the way I personally do it. Usually what my husband and I do is my paychecks go toward paying our bills that happen every month, and then his paychecks go toward things that don't happen every month but that we put aside money for. So like for example, we save money every month to put into a fund for vet visits, for our dogs, for car maintenance, things like that. So what we normally do is I'll sit down first and go through the bills that we have each month and write them down in my planner and kind of subtract those from my paychecks, and then we sit down together and go through those bills to make sure that I didn't forget anything, and then to look over his paychecks for the month and figure out what we're going to be putting that money toward. So I'm not going to go over that part of it with his paycheck in this video because I think it would just make for a really long video, and the way we do that is a little bit more complex than what I'm going to show you with my bills. Not my bills, with my paychecks. So I'm just going to start with how I like my basic budget for my paychecks, and then if you're interested, I can always do another video to show you how we manage our savings and our sinking funds for the other things that come up through the year. So the first thing I do, and I don't get super fancy with this, like I see a lot of people who do like a lot of stickers and things on their monthly layout. I do not. I really just stick to mild liners and a pen. And the mild liners I just color code. Green is money coming in and the orange or red is money going out. So the first thing that I'm going to do is fill in the days that I get paid, because for me it's easiest to budget per paycheck versus for the whole month. So I always get paid on the 15th and the 30th unless those dates fall on a weekend, in which case I'll get paid the Friday before. And I always fill in the payday from the month before. So like this is May 31st. So my paycheck was actually on Friday the 29th, but this is the paycheck that I'm budgeting out of for the beginning of June. And my paychecks pretty much always stay the same. So that does make it a little bit easier. So then I'm going to also go here on the 15th. Whoops, got a little crooked there. But the goal of this isn't necessarily to like be super pretty. It's really just more functional. So I don't worry too much if I get the line crooked or it doesn't look beautiful. So I do fill in the paycheck that I get at the end of the month, but this paycheck on the 30th of June is actually going to get budgeted for bills in July. So that's really the only green on the page is the paydays. So next we're going to look at the reoccurring bills. And I'm actually going to pull these out just because it's kind of hard to write over with the rings. It makes my writing pretty crooked. So let me pull the pages out to make it a little easier. And what I do is I always reference back the last month. Let me zoom in just a little bit. I always reference back to the last month and write those bills down first, and then look through and add anything that I think needs added. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. On the first, we always have our mortgage. And also to make it easier for myself, like I have a lot of these bills on auto withdrawal. So like AT&T, our phone bill, I always write it on the first, but I think it doesn't come out till like the third. But having it on the auto withdrawal makes it easy for me to not forget that it's coming out, and I don't have to remember the exact date. So I just put it on the first with the mortgage. And then we have medicine for Brian, prescription medicine for Brian, and then prescription medication for me. And then lastly, each month we set aside some money for miscellaneous spending. So that comes out of that paycheck as well. And then just because I'm out of room on the first, I'm gonna add to the second. I need to renew my dog's licenses. I guess that's what it's called. I can't remember, but where you have to like pay your township money because you have dogs. And then I have some clearances that I have to do for work. I actually don't know the exact amount of money that these cost. I already paid for one, but I have two left, so I just put 50 because I think it's about that much. And then on the 3rd, our car insurance comes out. And for some reason this month it's lower than what it normally is. I don't know if it's because it's the last, like we pay in every 6 months it renews our policy, so I think that the last payment's always a little bit less. And then let me look, on the 13th, Netflix comes out. And, oops, I said the 13th, on the 12th. And then on the 14th, I have the electricity bill that comes out. Okay, and that takes us up to the next paycheck. And then, just because I do like some colors, I just color code these. Like, these are all bills coming out, so they get colored either orange or red. Okay, then what I do is I look at this next paycheck and I think about the bills that come out that second half of the month, because they're going to get paid out of this paycheck. And the first thing I do is, out of my paycheck on the 15th every month, I pull our groceries and dog fund. Now, I did say that we have sinking funds for the dogs. That's more for like veterinarian care. This is more for like their food that we have to purchase every month. And for that, we budget $600. Then on the 17th, we've got Hulu. We have Disney Plus and ESPN, which I need to call them because I'm supposed to be getting a bundled package and I am not, and they continue to charge me the full price. And I just called them about a week ago and they were supposed to give me a call back, but they did not. HP is my instant ink. For the printer, I get charged $5 a month and they send me ink on a regular basis, so I never run out. It's actually a really nice service. I've never run out of ink and I feel like it's very fairly priced. I can't remember my page limit for that. I want to say it's 100 pages a month, but it's like you can print any quality. You can print full page photo quality images and it doesn't increase your cost at all. So I use that, and then you also get like rollover pages, so if you don't use all of them in a month, they roll over to the next month, so you can save those up. I do have a link in the description box. If you would like to try the HP Instant Ink program, you can get a free month, and then I also get a free month for you signing up with my code. So that's down below if you're interested in that. Next up, we have our American Express card. Now, here's what I will say. We did Dave Ramsey to pay off our debt, and Dave Ramsey is 100% against all credit cards. And we, for the most part, are too. We do not put anything on credit cards other than our gas for our cars each month. That's just something we've always done, and we pay that in full every single month. We probably will move away from that soon and just do cash, but for right now, it's just a little bit easier to pay that all in one chunk versus throughout the month every time we get gas, is how I look at it. But if you're following Dave Ramsey, that's a no-no. We have our water and internet, and then there is one sinking fund. Not one, it's actually a couple. There's a couple sinking funds that I take care of out of my paycheck, and that is for our quarterly trash and sewer payments, and then also for my hair appointments. Those come out of my paychecks as well. And then lastly, on the last day of the month, one of my dogs gets a shot every month, and it's an $8 fee for that. So I think that's it for that second paycheck. So then I'm gonna go ahead and highlight these as well. Okay, then what I do next is, I'm not going to show you on the calculator because I'm filming on my phone, which is where my calculator is at, but I have already added these numbers up ahead of time just so I wouldn't have to worry about that. What I do next is over here in the margin, I write first half, as in first half of the month. I write down the total of what all these bills for the first half, so the 1st through the 14th, is all together. The first half of the month, the total for all of our bills added up is $1,469. And then my paycheck that's coming out of is $1,625. So I subtract that. So for the first half of the month, I am positive $256. And then I do the same thing for the second half of the month. And for the second half of the month, the total is $1,078. So again, I subtract that from my paycheck. I think that's right. I'm not so good at the math. That's not right. Oh. Let's try this again. All right, the actual amount is positive $547. Okay, so then this is the important thing about budgeting, is you don't just let this money sit in your account, because then you end up spending it. And that's a lot of money to just spend without paying attention to what you're spending it on. So the next thing I do is over here in the margin, I write a list of any of the things that, that aren't a normal bill, but that we might want to purchase that month. So for example, this month, I want to get some shelves for the living room. So I'm going to write LR shelves, and I'm going to take a guess at how much that might be. I'm going to say $100. And we need to get a ladder, like an extending ladder. That's going to be about $200. And we also need to get a pressure washer, which we will likely buy used, and we're hoping to keep that at about $100. So then looking at these kind of like miscellaneous items, that's $400. So we're going to set aside $400 in the bank account to be used on those items. But we still have some money left over. So, running out of room here. Let's just make a little extra blurb right here. So our leftover money for the month was $803, and we're budgeting $400 for miscellaneous items, which means that we are positive still $403. So that money gets sent over to our savings account. Okay, so that is how I do my basic budget for the month. I don't know how everyone else does it. I know some people use budgeting apps. I prefer to keep mine on paper because it just makes more sense in my head when I'm planning things out to do it on paper. So that's how I do it. And then, like I said, once I have this stuff written down, I will sit down with my husband and we go through it together to make sure I didn't forget anything, and just to make any final adjustments that need to be done. And then this money will get sent to his account. It will get put into our savings or our other sinking funds that we have going on. And yeah, that's about it. If you would like to know more about how we use his paychecks and those sinking funds I was mentioning, let me know in the comments and I will look into making a video for that. That's a little bit more complex than what I did here. But yeah, that's it. I hope this helped you in some way. And if you have any questions about it or want more information on the debt payoff program that we did, I would be more than happy to send you those resources. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.